had a meeting scheduled one day in his office. We were all there except the governor. And I said to Helene Von Dam, his secretary, "Where's the governor?" She said, "He's delivering flowers." I said, "What?" "He's delivering flowers." And then she showed us this letter that had come, addressed the governor, state of California, Sacramento. That's all it said. It was a letter from a serviceman in Vietnam who had sent $5 and addressed to the governor of California, Sacramento. That was all the address was. And said, "Dear Governor, a year ago my wife and I were married, and such and this day is our anniversary, happened to be the day of our meeting. Would you please arrange for some flowers to be sent to my wife?" So he took the $5 and went and bought a $50 bundle of roses and went out to the house, this very modest neighborhood. And so when the woman answered the door, there stood the governor of California with an armful of roses. "Happy anniversary from the governor and your husband," and left. The other story is the other end of the spectrum. In 1971, there was a major earthquake in the San Fernando Valley. In the north end of the valley was a veterans facility made of wood, 4 stories high, and it had collapsed. He and I arrived there at the same time, and we were taken around the facility, around the veterans facility by the director there. There was no media there. It was just the 2 of us. As we were standing by the hospital, they were bringing out the bodies. 21 veterans died in that hospital when it collapsed on that day. The point of the story is that we were standing alone, looking down on these body bags of about 8 or 9 veterans. And he began to talk very quietly, just to himself, about how wrong it was. Well, we had asked the director, when one of the bodies was brought out, "Who is this?" The director explained who it was. And Reagan said, "What do you know about his family?" And the director said, "We don't know anything about his family. He never had a visitor in the years that he was here." Reagan talked about how wrong it was that a man who had sacrificed for the country should be left alone. And then as the time came for us to go, again, there were no cameras, nobody else, just the 2 of us. He brought his arm up into a full military salute, stood there for maybe 30 seconds over these dead veterans, and then walked back to the limousine and left. But he had this intense feeling about the veterans, much more emotional and much more real than I think most people realize.